Welcome, everyone, to the Eugene City Council meeting for October 10th. We have a number of ceremonial matters to start out the evening, but before we do that, I want to acknowledge that today is Indigenous Peoples Day, and to remind everyone in the city of Eugene that the City Council passed a resolution. I'm going to read this because so many people have contacted me asking that we do this day, and we have actually done it. So be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eugene. The City Council understands colonization not as a historic event, but as an ongoing structure predicated on the elimination of indigenous life and land, and contends that the celebration of Christopher Columbus and his alleged discovery of indigenous land celebrates the colonization and dispossession of indigenous peoples throughout the Americas. The city manager shall strike from the City of Eugene calendars and websites all references to Columbus Day. The City of Eugene shall utilize the second Monday in October as an opportunity to reflect upon the ongoing struggles of indigenous people of this land, to celebrate the thriving cultures and values of the indigenous peoples of our region, and to stand in solidarity with indigenous people everywhere. The City Council strongly encourages Eugene 4J and Bethel school districts and board members to comply with the Oregon, American, Indian, Alaska Native State Plan, which mandates that the public schools of our city teach about the history, culture, contemporary lives, and governments of the indigenous peoples of the Americas, with special emphasis on those from Oregon and across the Pacific Northwest. The City Council encourages other businesses and organizations and public institutions to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day on the second Monday in October. The City Council firmly commits to continue its effort to promote the well-being and growth of Eugene's indigenous community. This resolution is effective immediately upon its passage, which happened on the 14th of March, 2016. So, happy Indigenous Peoples Day. So I'm going to come down to do ceremonial matters.
Move the microphone down there for it.
I am delighted to begin tonight's proceedings by recognizing a group of young men in a local organization who accomplished something very special just a couple of weeks ago. The Eugene Emeralds baseball team 2016 Northwest League champions. You may clap. Alan, whoever's with you.
Sluggo.
That's you.
Full team. Here we go.
You have to control him.
Best of luck with that. Yeah.
Keep going around.
All the way around.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Okay.
You're the
More
Cubs,
than
man.
4 decades after winning their last championship, the Chicago Cubs affiliated program beat the Everett Aqua Sox 2-1 in a winner-take-all showdown on September 13th to win the league championship. In addition, the M's finished their 2016 season with the league's best overall regular season record. And just last week, General Manager Alan Benavides, is that right? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was named the Northwest League Executive of the Year. As all of you who had the opportunity to attend an M's game this season know, these guys were really good. The Emeralds have been an important part of the Eugene community and the area's rich history of baseball for more than 6 decades, providing fun and affordable family entertainment for all ages, as well as great opportunity for young baseball players to develop their skills and move on to the next level. What's more, the Emeralds organization is a strong and active community partner, contributing time and humor, energy, I just said that, no. and resources to local educational programs, events, and fundraisers, including the Special Olympics and Amazing Reading Program. The staff mascot, that would be you, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. And players are regulars at kids' sports and Little League games, hospital events, youth camps, and Boys and Girls Club. You can take a bow now. Good.
There you go.
Okay. At their games at PK Park, the M's have raised thousands of dollars for local and national causes. Thank you all very, very much. Particularly dear to my heart are their efforts to honor our local heroes with special events and free or discounted tickets for groups including law enforcement, veterans, and currently serving military personnel. All this is to say that our Eugene Emeralds are very deserving of every success they had this season. From management to the players to the staff to the volunteers, yes, even Sluggo. The M's have that intangible spirit that defines true champions. The standards of sportsmanship and teamwork you collectively model are to be celebrated. Thank you for allowing us to honor you here tonight. We wish you all well in the future and many more championships, right? Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bring the chair back.
Nice. Good job, guys.
Our next ceremonial matter is the presentation of an award to our very own urban forestry program. Here to introduce the item is Greg Gacy, a member of the Board of Directors of Oregon Community Trees. Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. It's my honor and privilege as a Eugene resident to be giving this award. I'm a board member of Oregon Community Trees, which is a statewide organization promoting urban forestry. And the City of Eugene's proactive approach to tree care and their new street tree list has made it so that this award can be given to the City of Eugene.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Greg and Oregon Community Trees Board, for promoting healthy urban and community forests through your leadership, education, and advocacy. I am pleased and honored to accept this 2016 organizational award on behalf of all the citizens of Eugene. I am proud of the work that our Park and Open Space Division's urban forestry team has accomplished over the course of the past several years that allowed us to receive this award. The work includes Oh, yeah, please. Thank you. The work includes transitioning to a proactive approach, as Greg said, to urban forestry that enhances public safety and health for our over 100,000 street trees. I can clap for that. They also created a new tree planting list for our community that includes climate adaptive trees that will increase the resiliency of our urban forest as we head into the future. This past April, I also had the pleasure of accepting Eugene's 37th consecutive Tree City USA Award from the Arbor Day Foundation. This, combined with the Oregon Community Trees Organization Award, demonstrates our community's commitment to vibrant forests for both current and future generations. Thank you so much, and congratulations, everybody. Thank you. Picture. Yeah, I will. I'll put this. Can you see everybody's face?
Have you guys? Thank you.
Yes. And for our final ceremonial matter this evening, I'd like to recognize someone who has done truly amazing work for our community through her role in the court justice system. Judge Mary Jane Morey will leave her post as municipal court judge for the city of Eugene on October 31st. We're going out together, huh, Mary? While our efforts to honor her tonight can only touch the surface of her countless contributions and the level of our gratitude, we want to formally and publicly recognize and thank her on behalf of the entire community. Judge Morey, will you please come up to the podium? I'll hand you this when you want to say something. Okay. So here we go. It's my honor to present you with this signed testimonial, which reads, Dear Judge Morey, on behalf of the city of Eugene, it is my honor to offer these words of gratitude and appreciation for your service to our community and to our organization as municipal court judge. Throughout your 22-year career with the city of Eugene, you have been deeply respected for both your judicial excellence and for the compassion you have shown to all. In particular, your efforts to humanely and proactively address mental health issues within the justice system have been instrumental in helping some of our most vulnerable citizens. One of your crowning accomplishments was the creation of the Mental Health Court in 2004. You can clap for her. In this and other innovative programs, such as the Jail Intercept Program, community restoration programs, your tireless dedication and commitment to social equity has ensured not only the success of these initiatives, but their continued relevance in our local justice system. Your willingness to roll up your sleeves and tackle tough problems has always been a hallmark of your tenure with municipal court. For example, you organized a group of regional partners in 2012 to participate in a mental health summit, creating a strong network of people and agencies that continue to be committed to removing barriers to service. The Mental Health Court and these other efforts to assist those who struggle with mental health challenges have had an immeasurable impact on people's lives and will continue to be felt for many years to come. Judge Morey, your passion for this work is unsurpassed. Your drive to help others, particularly those who need it the most, has been integrated into all aspects of your involvement at court and has served as an inspiration to others for dedicating your heart and talents to bettering our city and our community. We thank you so much. Thank you.
So, I don't know if you can hear me with this. I'm not used to using a mic. Okay. It has been an honor to serve as a judge at Eugene Municipal Court. I've been able and privileged to be involved in the progression and the evolution of the criminal justice system in our local community. In the past, we used to emphasize punishment, putting criminals in jail, having them sit. We are now a court that is willing to assist others, defendants, in obtaining and continuing their treatment programs, mental health, drug, alcohol, other addiction programs, counseling. We are trying to help them fulfill the basic needs that they require to be a member of this community. We are also helping them develop different decision-making skills so that their decisions are going to be different outcomes in the future. We do all of this while we try to hold them accountable without incarcerating them. We have been able to watch defendants over the years become very productive members of this community. They become law-abiding, productive with jobs, and stable in their environment, and a lot happier. We have looked at justice in a different fashion than we used to. I want to thank the mayor and council for this honor. But I also want to honor and share this with the partners, with our team, because it's really a team approach that has made this be able to work. So I want to honor this team, both past and present, all the judges that are here and the judges that have practiced at Eugene Municipal Court, the court staff, our prosecutor's office, our defense attorneys, and also our community partners, including Lane County Behavioral Health, Eugene Police Department, Lane County Adult Corrections, and also Peace Health. And I want to give a special thank you to Judge Allen, who 22 years ago gave me a chance, who did not really know me and my different history and my different interaction with the criminal justice system, and has allowed me to redefine, with the help of all of you, the definition of justice in our community. Thank you.
Okay, we're, oops. I don't have a, was there something? I didn't get that. Something else, hold on. Oh, good. Oh, that's good. And now, da-da-dum, da-dum, it gives me great pleasure to officially announce that a courtroom in the Eugene Municipal Court will be named the Mary Jane Morey Courtroom in Judge Morey's honor. This recognition will provide a positive reminder that each day is an opportunity to serve others with compassion, kindness, and respect. Please join me now in expressing our appreciation for Judge Mary Jane Morey and her family and wishing them the best in the future. All right. All right, that was so much fun, but now back to the agenda. The public forum is an opportunity for individuals to speak to the City Council on any city-related issues, except for those items which have already been heard by a hearings official or are on tonight's agenda as a public hearing. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak. When you come to the podium, please give your name, city of residence, and for Eugene residents, your ward if known. The timer lights indicate the time you have to speak. The red light indicates the end of 3 minutes. I'm opening this forum part. And we have 10 people signed up. First up is Gail Newton, followed by Jeff Winter.
Good evening. My name is Gail Newton. I live in Southwest Eugene. I want to speak briefly in support of enhanced swimming pool access in Eugene. I've been a member of the Emerald Aquatic Swim Team for about 13 years. In the winter months, we swim at Echo Hollow and in the summer at Amazon. It has been a valuable part of the exercise I get and has contributed greatly to my well-being. At this point in my life, I prefer to swim at the 11 a.m. practices. When the season at Amazon is over, that option is no longer available to me. From November through early May, I swim at the Willamette Lane Pool on G Street in Springfield for the most part. This does not result in as rigorous a workout as I get when swimming with the team and when being coached. I recently was diagnosed with a mild form of Parkinson's disease. Last month, I attended the World Parkinson's Congress held this time in Portland, Oregon. There were around 6,000 participants from all over the world at this event, including the attendees, speakers, and exhibitors. During the week's events, I learned how incredibly important it is to participate in a variety of exercise programs to stave off the physical effects of this disease. Having additional swimming opportunities in Eugene area would greatly assist me and many others in obtaining much-needed exercise. In addition, I would urge the Parks and Rec Department to honor the Silver Sneakers program that are included in many MedAdvantage insurance programs used by Medicare-eligible seniors. Silver Sneakers provides free access to many rec facilities in our area, and including the Willamette Lane system. So that going over there in the winter is free for me. I want to thank you for this opportunity, and if anyone has any questions, maybe
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jeff Winter is up next, followed by Paul Neville. Jeff? Yes.
My name is Jeff Winter. I live in Ward 3, Allen Zelenka's ward. In my professional life, I'm on the management team of a manufacturing firm. And as a volunteer, I'm a Team Eugene's president, a competitive swim team. We have 180 swimmers and over 400 parents involved in our organization. We have produced a number of speakers with various perspectives on why it's necessary to provide more swimming access in Eugene. There are several perspectives and organizations participating in this. We're going to continue to bring speakers from various organizations over the next several city council meetings. I would like, however, to offer this copy of a PowerPoint to the council for their review. Some of those on the council and city management have already seen this. Its focus is the proposal to cover the Amazon Pool Complex with a seasonal cover. It has several parts. Number one, it benchmarks the city of Eugene against other cities in the Northwest and in the country. Number two, it evaluates and informs how to use pool space to suit, for temperatures to suit children, the aged, etc. The last point, and the one I'm going to speak on, is how hundreds of cities in the world have seasonally covered hundreds and hundreds of pools seasonally, because it's the most sound ecological use of resources and by far the most economical manner to maintain adequate swimming resources. A seasonal cover from October to May is a fraction of the cost of building a new pool space. There's actually no really second best option. 3 cities in Oregon have done this already, and it's a relatively inexpensive capital expenditure. The cost to do this was benchmarked against Mounted Community College. The cost of mounted seasonal cover and other major renovations was $1.7 million. I just spoke to a professional who's doing this in New Jersey, and he believes Amazon could be covered for much less. We realize the Budget Committee and the Parks and Recreation Department will bring forward several proposals for future city parks and recreation ventures, possibly including a pool addition. We would suggest the city evaluate how hundreds of other municipalities have solved this issue of pool access without the additional cost of other pools. We highly recommend that you look into this proposal and consider it. Thanks.
Thank you. Paul Neville is next, followed by Queen Eugenia Slunsworth.
Good evening, councilors. My name is Paul Neville, and it's nice to be speaking to you tonight in a different capacity as Director of Public Relations for St. Vincent de Paul. We're here tonight requesting approval of our application for home funds to acquire the former Cascade Presbyterian Church at 3350 Willamette Street for the establishment of a program that will provide unemancipated homeless high school students ages 16 to 18 with the housing and social services they need to stay in high school and graduate. The need is great. At least 300 homeless youth are enrolled in local high school, and these youngsters are at high risk of dropping out. For those who do, the outlook is not good. Unemancipated homeless teens have few public resources or housing options. Many end up living on the streets where they're vulnerable to violence, drugs, and human trafficking. There's more than 6 times likely, high school dropouts are more than 6 times likely to go to prison than those who stay in school and graduate, and more than 3 times likely to end up unemployed. So how do we address this problem? Well, St. Vincent de Paul is partnering with Eugene, Bethel, and Springfield school districts and with Hosea Youth Services to create a facility that will house homeless youth rent-free for up to 2 years, with the key requirement that they remain in school. A manager will live on site, and the house will include a community space, kitchen, a community area, counseling office, computer lab, and a study area. A full-time social worker will connect youth with community resources and advocate on their behalf, and each resident will be assigned a mentor, fully vetted, and who will commit to a full year of working with these kids. The goal is simple, clear, and we believe attainable: to provide homeless high school students with the housing and the social services they need to graduate, and to dramatically increase their chances of becoming successful, productive, and healthy citizens. Our successful application, if successful, our application for home funds, our application for home funds is supported by neighborhood associations, McKinney-Vento liaisons in the school districts, and administrators in all 3 districts, by Colt Gill, the former Bethel superintendent and now the state's chief education innovation officer, by the 15th Night, which is working with nonprofits to combat youth homelessness, by Mayor Piercy and soon-to-be Mayor Lucy Venice, and many others. One last thing: if we're successful in winning this grant, we will be launching a campaign to raise funding for the next phase, a $1 million remodeling project. And we ask for your continued leadership and help in meeting this challenge.
Perfect. Queen Eugenia Slimesworth is next, followed by Alden McWayne. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Eugenia Slimesworth. I am the 34th and currently reigning Slug Queen, and I'm here to talk about bringing back our fabulous Eugene Celebration Parade and Pet Parade. I'm not a native Eugenian. I have lived here and there across the East Coast and West Coast, big cities, small towns. I've never found any place quite like Eugene. I have never found any place where I feel so safe and respected as a transgender person. I've never been anywhere where I feel so comfortable as a creative person and general weirdo. When I first got here, it was supposed to be temporary, just while my husband was finishing up grad school. I didn't really know anybody. I didn't know anything about Eugene or what to expect. And I heard about the Eugene celebration. I couldn't go to the festival part because I had to work both days that weekend, but I did have time in the morning to go to the parade. I never miss a parade. And what I saw gave me a pretty good sense of what this city was like and what made it end up ultimately feel like home to me. I was exposed to a number of really cool community organizations that I never would have known about, like Lila and Mayan Freedom. I saw a marching band, but of course they weren't marching, they were on bicycles, and they weren't just bicycles, they were crazy bicycles that were welded together to seat 4 or 5 people, and they had all these crazy horns. It reminded me of a Dr. Seuss maybe in Whoville, you know, everybody's doing their own wacky thing, and that's kind of how Eugene feels to me. And I feel like the parade is a really great opportunity to get outside, get out of your house, get to know your neighbors, get involved in your community, and see what's going on. It's a really great way to celebrate art and music and dance. I really love Eugenians' dead serious commitment to whimsy, and I think the parade really celebrates our diversity and celebrates everything that makes our city special. Thank you.
Thank you. Alden McWayne is next, followed by Wes Georgiev, excuse me.
Greetings, City Council, City Manager, and Mayor. My name is Alden McWayne, and I'm a student at South Eugene High School, and I'm representing the Earth Guardians 350 Club, and I live in Ward 2. I came down this evening to emphasize the importance and needed efficiency of implementing the Climate Recovery Ordinance. And I'd also like to recognize the effort you guys are putting in, especially in environment, and especially last June with the carbon budget, the 350. So thank you for that. To begin, as a youth, I often think about the future, and I want to be a musician and play jazz in particular, and raise a family and live a full, rich life. But often when I think about the future, it always hits me that on the current path that we're on, it's very possible that I will not live that future that I'm imagining. No other generation has been in a position like this where our children's future and our future are at risk. And it's really difficult to really think about this and really grasp it fully. And often I find myself slipping into the daily mindset of high school, and like this morning thinking about coming down here versus all the homework I have at home. But also it hit me also just like the importance of actions like this versus something so small as homework. But while it is so difficult to think about the destruction and death that will happen with climate change, this path that we're on, and to even start to imagine that my children won't have futures, I still have a lot of faith that good people will overcome, good people in government, especially like all these people here, will overcome the greed of special interests and corporations. So I'm pleading that we continue on the progress and implement the Climate Recovery Ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Wes Georgiev is next, followed by Corinna McWilliams.
Greetings, City Council, City Manager, and Mayor. My name is Wes Georgiev, and I'm a junior at South Eugene High School. I'm a co-founder of the EG350 South Club. Recently, I've been caught in the complexity of a demanding academic year, and it felt extreme stress. Sometimes I contemplate our Earth from afar, trying to change my perspective to better understand my leaders. I sometimes contemplate my future by surrendering myself to the present moment. I'm genuinely afraid for the children I will have. If saving this future means implementing the Climate Recovery Ordinance, I will stop at nothing to advocate for the reallocation of funding to the Transportation System Plan in the place of $250 million set to go towards the Beltline Highway. In a system built by corporate mindsets, we must reevaluate our fundamental values in transportation especially. We must implement a bike ped plan fast. Columbus blatantly promoted black inferiority, a belief ingrained in his mindset so powerfully it didn't seem unjust to him. Please don't be caught in the mainstream, where making big change is questioned. Please be bold in making a decision that could greatly affect my future. And thank you for your efforts that you have made in adopting the 350 carbon budget. It hasn't gone unnoticed. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Corinna McWilliams is next, followed by Alfredo Gormazano.
Greetings, Council. My name is Corinna McWilliams, and I'm here perpetually to request immediate action regarding the Climate Recovery Ordinance. Tonight, I'd like to talk about something a little different. I would like to begin by speaking about something that holds a lot of influence over the safety of future generations in a manner much like climate change, which is the presidential election. Last night, after watching the presidential debate, two things became evident to me. One, climate change is not a priority for either of the two presidential hopefuls, regardless of science, moral responsibility, or common sense. And two, there will be no common solution, stability, or safety if the only way that we attempt to communicate with each other is through verbal abuse and blame. Although our country is perhaps the most politically divided it has ever been, the only way to ensure safety and prosperity for future generations is to work together, to accept each other, and to support each other regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, religion, or political party. Let us learn from the mistakes of our leaders and build on them to create growth, progress, and a stronger sense of camaraderie. Let us move forward in the political movement and the environmental movement as a cooperative and compassionate team. Let us demand clean oceans, a breathable atmosphere, and equal rights for all instead of an egotistical reassurance that you are right and the other is wrong. The solution to today's political turmoil does not lie in fact-checking. It relies in caring for one another, respecting one another, and leading by example. While the United States may not have a unified sense of community at the moment, a team of government officials who are invested in its future, or a comprehensive climate recovery plan, Eugene has all of these things. It is more important now than ever to keep up the pressure on the CRO to ensure that we are doing everything we can to preserve a healthy atmosphere. Everything is connected, everything is interdependent, but in the end, nothing can function successfully, not even government, without a stable climate. Let's implement a carbon tax, fund the transportation system plan, provide regular progress reports, adjust the city budget, encourage a green lifestyle. I am only 16 years old. I have no voting privileges. I have no say in this election, but I have the most at stake. All great change starts with the people. High-level government may not recognize our right to a livable climate, but Eugene does. And I hope that you continue to push this movement forward with speed and alacrity. The country will not, in a few weeks, the country will be electing my future president, but it would also be electing my future economy, my future legislation, my future education, and my future atmosphere. Please consider all of this as you move forward with your everyday lives, as well as with the Climate Recovery Ordinance. Thank you for your time and hard work.
Alfredo Ormezano is next, followed by Stefan Strick.
Good evening, Council and City Manager. After these incredibly eloquent orators, I don't know what to say. My name's Alfredo Gormazano. I live near 18th and Chambers. I'm not sure which ward that's in. However, what I'm here to talk about tonight is one more solution to our housing shortage. Mayor Piercy, you've already heard my story, and so you can take a nap if you like. I'm a homeowner, and it's been a struggle. I'm 2 years away from paying off my house and right on the edge of falling back into foreclosure proceedings again. One solution that can help increase housing in our city, instead of looking towards building these big soulless monster buildings downtown, is to help fund us homeowners to build other dwellings in our backyards, dwellings that you can't see from the street, dwellings that'll keep the character of our city, that'll be craft built, that'll be beautiful, and that will help us have an income from rent to help us keep our property so we don't become homeless and add to the problem. I've also attempted to help the homeless problem in my own small way by having someone live in a tent in my backyard, and have gone through a little bit of difficulty with the city, but I think we're getting clear on that one now. I had a talk with the, I forgot his name, forgot what department he's in, but I had a talk with him. He said he spoke with city manager, maybe with you, and that seems to be clearing up. So anyway, I asked for help for homeowners. Hearing about these people asking for swimming pools, well, there's not that much more time left in this year that I'll be able to throw myself in the Mackenzie River as I did yesterday. So we need more swimming, and we also need more help with the climate. And having these small homes in the backyards is also another way to have less impact on the climate, as well as helping us plant more trees. Trees will help revive our atmosphere. So thank you very much, and thank you for the great job you're all doing.
Stefan Strick is next, followed by Joe Tyndall.
Well, first off today, I congratulate you all on the adoption of Indigenous Peoples Day. Christopher Columbus might not have been the nicest guy, but he was successful at what he did. We live in a country that rewards success and punishes failure. In this country, only the strong survive, and the existence of Indigenous people as their own sovereign nations is proof of their strength. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, truly. Also, we need to talk about community consent and consent in this town. When the EMX project continues without the consent of business owners, when the South Willamette project continues as next steps, obviously without the consent of homeowners, I live in South Eugene. I don't want any next steps. Leave South Willamette alone. Seriously. We've had enough of you wasting tax money. You repave Willamette Street every single year. Harris Street just got repaved. It was perfectly fine. There are alleys all over town that have not been paved ever. They're covered in potholes. It will wreck cars just completely. People are upset about this. It's ridiculous. Quit wasting money. Second off, your Jim Crow bicycle laws have got to go. What is up with all these signs saying that people can't ride bikes on the sidewalk? Are we going to start giving people fines and tickets for walking on the bike lanes, like, you know, for walking up the bike path? Are we going to make the Amazon bike trail off limits for walkers? This is ridiculous. Have some more sense with your legislation. Next off, the lights. You people are changing lights and spending $1,700,000 to upgrade to LEDs. These are toxic. They are very bad. It causes light pollution for people, interrupts REM sleep. Even worse, it is an attraction for endangered migratory birds. So you people are not only wasting almost $2 million, you are contributing to the extinction of endangered migratory birds, which taxpayers really care about. And this is important. Next off, the people of Eugene, consent is important to them. When you push these issues about lights and wasting money and building roads without consent, it contributes to an atmosphere where people act towards each other without consent. When you bring in all these hobos who are addicted to drugs, they're rapey, they're dirty, it encourages the college kids to also be dirty and rapey. It's unacceptable. It's very gross. We need to get rid of these Jim Crow bike laws. We need to encourage consent among people. We need to actually contribute to healthy light in our city and not this toxic light that's probably just giving someone's friend's company a whole bunch of money. And then we're going to find out that this is just a waste of money, killing endangered animals, and then we're going to have to spend all this money again just to upgrade back to the old lights. Seriously, why can't you people research things before you spend money? Why is it so important to give people's friends money just because, you know, it's hard to get elected in politics these days? Yes, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Joe Chendall is next.
Okay, Joe Tyndall, Ward 7, and I'm 116th Iroquois. This is my second 400-word appearance in this series. Today I have a report that should have been delivered 3 years ago. In the spring of 2013, the Police Commission surveyed EPD rank and file officers. This is the summary of their responses. Organized by question, the data is far more intuitive. As a token radical on the Police Commission, it was made abundantly clear to me that I was not to be trusted to write this up by myself. I tried and failed several times to assemble a group to summarize the material. Now that I am not on the commission, I no longer feel constrained. For 4 hours effort, I have written up data that was obscurely placed in the public record 3 years ago. While laziness played a role in not finishing this project, I believe the main motivation was that many of the responses run counter to the dominant narrative. If we discussed these replies, the myth would be challenged. Better to let the survey be forgotten. This might have worked, except Commissioner Walker chose to invoke political correctness to silence me. Banning free speech made him an enemy. So what is this police commission narrative? It is the belief that all police are all good all the time. But doesn't the existence of a civilian review board, police commission, and independent auditor contradict this idea? These oversight functions do not pop into existence for no reason. They were created because police were misbehaving. These groups ensure that officers can do the job while not, again, abusing the power we have granted to them. One of the problems with ideologues is that they tell you what you believe. Unfortunately, they get it wrong most of the time. Such is the case here. By labeling you, they think they know you. They don't. So what do I believe? I hold that most police honestly, thoughtfully, and respectfully do a difficult job, but not all police are perfect all the time. Thus, we do oversight to avoid injustice. I have two demands. First, Bob Walker's innocuously worded censorship rules need to be repealed. Second, Commissioner Walker, for implementing these affronts to the First Amendment, needs to resign or to be removed. When these two things occur, you can be done with me. Next meeting, I will review the contents of this report. And by the way, do the parade. Thank you.
Thank you. And I close the public forum and thank everybody. And in particular, thank those South Eugene Earth Guardians. Thank you for coming. And I want to, you all were very articulate, did a great job. But I just want to say, Karina, your observations were about the breadth of what affects us all and how we treat each other. I particularly resonated with, so thank you very much for that. Yes, George. Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming down. This is always one of the best parts of our council duties, and it's really important that we have this public forum. I just wanted to briefly, the mayor spoke at length about Indigenous Peoples Day, but I think an important item got left out. When we passed a resolution a couple days ago, standing in solidarity with the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe's opposition to the Dakota Access Pipeline, and part of that resolution read, in the very last section, City Council Resolution. The City of Eugene proclaims that October 10th, 2016, Indigenous Peoples Day in the City of Eugene will commemorate and support the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe's opposition to the Dakota Access Pipeline. So it's our first Indigenous Peoples Day, and that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up, Councilor Brown. Okay, Councilor Zelinka and then Councilor Pryor.
Yeah, I was excited about two things. I'm very excited about the possibility of a seasonal covering over the Amazon pool. Not that expensive. It's done in many other cities, and it would meet the high demand for pool access, especially in the winter. So I'm really looking forward to investigating that more and moving that project along. And thanks to the young folks, the Earth Guardians, for spending the time to craft your words this evening and coming down here tonight and talking to us and keeping our eye on the ball. Thanks for doing that.
Councilor Pryor.
Yeah, I also want to thank everyone for coming down, very heartfelt. And I was on the committee that reviewed the application by St. Vincent de Paul for the project, and it was a very well-received application and received some of the highest scores I've ever seen for a HUD home housing project. So I would heartily endorse approval of this project. I don't need to pull it from the consent agenda, but I do want to acknowledge that it's a very good project that does a very good work. Great application, and I think we should all support it unanimously.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. So we're going to move on to the next item on our agenda, which is a consent calendar. That's you, right?
I move to approve the items on the consent calendar, including the funding for the homeless high school students for St. Vincent de Paul.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. Okay. All those in favor, please indicate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Councilor Surratt?
I vote yes.
All right, that's 7. Greg, are you online? No. Okay, 7 in favor, and it passes. Thank you all very much. And that actually finishes our business for this evening. Thank you all very much.